All right, so now they record. So now, good evening, Nakusha, Nakabo, the family, and this is the Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh past Gentri program, and the Salon Organization of Greater Manchester, my name Council, and my name, Latino John Fuller. Okay, today we'll talk about health anxiety, and this is our 26th session. I get a good news for Una. I'll announce that at the end. I will wait for Dr. Mr. Tisedon presents done. I will announce the good news to Una at the end. Today, Mr. Abraham Cisse, and the presenter to we, but we also get people at the panel where we introduce to Una. Then after that, we will start. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, like I say no more, it's a lot of organizations of Greater Manchester and they champion this program, but the people then when they present to now health professionals and when they right across the UK, we don't know they get paid. The only reason we do this now for try for benefit with people them. Because some of where we go hospital, we afraid for ask questions and attend this something that happen to we instead of go seek medical advice, we will take normal professional medicine. When they say person enough for let not take them or whatever, what we say no more, if the opportunity they but let go seek help rather than try for self-medicate us. So this program not to give us in personalized advice, really. You know, we only give generalized advice for things that we get for look out for. So they have a family them. If you get problem, go see your physician. We're not there for replace your doctor. We only there for you general advice, where at least when you go sit down before your doctor, you will know waiting for ask and you will understand waiting and they tell you. Okay. All right, so we move on. So the team members them we Agbagba now Dr. Mohammed Kamara, we are emergency medicine consultants in Manchester now, and every group we people in the you get forget a head and the head and then they head this group. Okay. The next person we get now Miss Gugia to Kamara, we in mental health nurse and also health visitor. Area of expertise in mental health, but he gets experience as well in other areas. So if you ask questions, he did our panel today, they now missed, he gave help if you feel see he gets the right information from you that advice. Okay. Next part we'll get now Mr. Abraham Cisse, who will see Boku one today. You know, you don't wear his flute, they can't bluff with, but it's okay. But basically like qualified social worker and also a mental health advocate. So he present to it when he begin, he will introduce himself a little bit more. All right. Next person we can normally get, unfortunately, we will not get until Fatima Kouma, when a nutrition equity means people specialize in women black man, you know, type of food. You know, I talk to how we for prepare food, this kind of food for eat. I want the best way for prepare food, you know, we get the best nutrition out of them because we get a lot of good food in Africa, but some of them will not prepare them well, and some of them will eat the right portion and all them things. Unfortunately, nobody will eat me. I don't know if you go join, but if you join with me later, I will make one. Right? Next person that Dr. Aziza Cisse, when you get your own show, talk with Dr. Cisse. You may understand enough for the with today. But sometimes it can sneak up on me, but if you come on board, I will make sure so you know. You know, a general practitioner and he's get experience in other areas. But if you join me and if you feel see, you ask any question, we feel see if able but lesson, they will come on board and answer them. Right? Also, we get Dr. Mohammed Zebure, when I'm your body. Not a big brother to me, well experienced. You know, UK and GP, but believe me, that man, he gets wealth of knowledge. He didn't have miss today. So if you ask question, if he say he had value, he will come on and answer that question. But he didn't have miss definitely. Okay. Let's also get now Mrs. Isaac Agoba. My understanding is he will join me, not there at the moment, but he will join me at some point. Okay, now mental health nurse and a social worker as well. The area of expertise now mental health. If you join me later on, I will make sure you will not say there. And if he self gets any input for give for help with him, when I will ask any question, he will try for answer. Right? Next person we can get now Mrs. Fatmata Kamara in order with me today, but instead of mental health nurse. If he come on board at some point, because something they can surprise me. But so if he come, I will make one know. But if you know they, but basically I am part of the team. I'm mental health nurse and I, you know, area of expertise. The next person, Miss Aminata Jallo, when I am in profession on medicine. Normally we can talk to we can tell we how for look after medicine, kind of medicine for take how for take out. All of them get the best benefit out of them. We get a lot of bad habits than we black people of how they take medication. They will say take 2, we end up take 3. You know, and we explain to you the implications and the way for take medicine, which kind of medicine they for take, when you for left for take medicine and seek medical advice, you know, all anything I can, you know, they can advise you on. But in not deal with it today, but if you jump on, I will make sure so. And last but not the least, now meeting with John Fuller, me a business IT consultant. I'm enrolled now as a medical doctor. As much as I know a small bit, I have small bit one, compared to the experience with them we are getting. So me know to I'm not there for give medical advice, are there so for coordinate, make things go smooth, provide IT support, provide them with all the support where they need, for them book my so able can give now the message where they get for now. We my God power, we will continue for help we all, for continue for live a good life. So now I can now over to Mr. Sise, but before I do so, dear family, if I get any questions, feedback, or suggestion, please email me. I will share a phone number with you now before we done today. We will able to contact you on, because I will talk to them as well concerning that phone number and I get for work going forward. We want to look at for find a way for level people like able to benefit more rather than at a meet one type of way for maybe develop it for. But I will talk to her at the end. And like I say no more, Mrs. Goba don't join me, so a day at the parent as well. So if I get any question at the end, you can answer that. So my family and you are they can mute everybody. Not to witness, okay, please, they are big. At the mute and allow the presenter to present. Also, at the end, I will explain to you how I'll be able to ask questions. Either you raise your hand physically, if I see you, I will take your question, or you can use the tools. Something they the two way you will raise your hand with. I will come to you for ask question, but I will explain to you when the time for question. So, Mr. Sise, they're all yours. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coordinator, and I welcome you all. Obviously, I see some couple of new faces today. We make us feel so excited when coming. So we're all welcome. And thank you very much as well for us.
Thank you.
Yes, because you've been with us for the past few sessions now, and we're happy to welcome you back again. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, once more again, good afternoon, and I welcome now all welcome, and for the newcomers, obviously, as the coordinator don't say, this is the 26th session where we don't, presents ever since the program started. So we're almost coming like to a year for more than sessions here begin. So welcome now all. And the topic today is about health anxiety. And obviously, I know say, now something way that affect we all, and I will try to make sure say we get very, very detailed information about it. Of course, in the midst to get Dr. Toure and possibly Dr. Kabara will join you at some point. Obviously, they say ready for buttress any area where involve their own input. Now, a combination of two we'll talk about today. Not to just an anxiety being the problem where, and Sister we don't touch on very well sometime back in some of the sessions we don't present, but this combination, you not only get anxious, but now about a specific subject when are your health. So we'll go into them as we go along. Before we go any further, I just want to give an overview of within this team mean and how much it costs the NHS now. And also, obviously, the information I will try to make sure say reach people in a salon, but I equally believe say we must get the health budget in salon. So perhaps it still hit them as it hits the NHS now. So I just want to expand a bit more on that now. On the NHS, health anxiety in a year, it costs the NHS £2 billion a year. £2 billion a year, and that's a lot of money. And out of 51.4 consultation where they get generated by people who visit with health anxiety, they age range between 16 and 59. Obviously, that means that people they access the internet a lot. But then they argue, say, perhaps if they try for incorporating into the NHS itself, it will save the NHS about £420 million a year. That if they say, well, okay, not accept them people when they come, can report them condition and say, if they feel this way, where they're very anxious about particular thing, where perhaps the doctor don't try forget all, they don't do all the tests possible, they don't see anything wrong with that. But perhaps they refer them to maybe psychology, where still, as I say, we'll expand on that. For them, give just talking therapy for help you with that, for let you rewind your thinking, for let you say, not anything wrong with you, that the way you think, make it feel this way. maybe then they will help. And as we talk up to this point, health anxiety as well is still be debatable whether it's a condition or not, but it's still not being incorporated yet into any of the platforms, whether the health discipline or the mental health discipline is still not incorporated yet. So they look at us and say, perhaps in the next coming ICD 10, 11, and the I means international, C means classification, D means disease topic, book volume, when I volume 11, because at the moment they use volume 10. In volume 11, they come out 2022. So they try to say they will incorporate into that, at least let them into the books. And obviously, sadly, the majority of the contribution for this surge of health anxiety now the internet. And also a good thing, we all benefit from electricity now. Are you far from everybody? Obviously, through the internet, the use of the internet, we all get connected with the self virtually and we'll get information out. So it's a good tool, but only if we use it in the right way. So we'll expand on that as we go. And before I continue, I just want to remind viewers them, say the word internet, it will appear a lot more than usual because it get for play in some of the slides as well. So we'll go for, I just want for people to be aware of that. Next one to move slide. Definitely what you get for address today, the content now is within health anxiety, the definition I found, within the science then, within the cause health anxiety and the increase with the on and so statistics on health anxiety, the most common types of stress, not just health anxiety, and the risk factor, what you do for avoid that vicious cycle we get trapped in. And obviously a very nice smooth video audio at the end would help we with we on helpful thinking, obviously a final thought at the end. Now, I don't say obviously it's not an old picture. The picture when I see an old because obviously, during COVID, I can imagine say the doctor get a very big vice on her face. We don't get chance for say we can close to our see face or even glasses. So that's an old picture. But the word itself, health anxiety, as you see, I said, the medical word for them now hypochondria. And what does that mean? The way somebody spends so much time, the worry say, oh, about getting ill or not well, then that thing they started to take over in life. Because obviously, as I say, it gets too much worry. Because most times when they happen, not on the first visit. On the first visit, obviously, perhaps you get a worry, say, that this way I feel, like we see in GP. The way you go see in GP, perhaps in GP, I say, don't do all the checks, everything is fine, no problem, go back home safely. When they go home, when you go home now, the next thing what they go do, is they go on the internet, they search, and they see symptoms that are similar to what you feel get, then the next guy will kind of on the most advanced state of that symptoms when you first feel. So that really become a worrying signs for them. And every time now, as I say, you have to go to the GP. Sometimes it's just 2 times you go, so sometimes you go 3 4 times, or even 5 times you go, just to make sure say they never get themselves, they never get the problem addressed because continuously they're anxious, say they're not well, and that leads to other things. It make it become stress. They get good sleep, they keep they ask people for reassurance all the time about how you feel, say you look or how you feel, how all the things. Then they call health anxiety. Now, as I say, some of the risk factors. Obviously, at the moment, we're all day lockdown. Every single one of us, they spend more time on the internet, whether through your laptop, through your phone, or your desktop now, or if you get one, they spend more time on the internet and they look through so much, health information there. And then recently it becomes then a behavioral problem because once you go there, because of obviously, I can imagine say, since the pandemic, each time you phone the GP, obviously they will tell you say, if you get signs of COVID, not calm or any other thing, they mostly they pay attention to COVID patients at the moment. Obviously, they were high priority during COVID. So you get more time for CGP. Like me, so every year I see my GP at least maximum 3 times in January, June, and December. But during COVID, I only managed to see them once because that was January where we put the lockdown in. So ever since up to now, I don't see my GP8. So you can imagine if somebody gets interested in it. So if they go to the internet, you can self-diagnose if not be careful. And obviously, they constantly check your symptoms. And prior to COVID, so man, obviously, if you don't go to GP once, you don't check GP tell and say, no problem, no day. Everything is fine. You're okay. And obviously, you don't need to worry too much about anything. You know, the trustworthy in GP teller. You know, the trust at all. They become very focused on your body all the time. I say, it check, it ask. They don't say, no, ask. You can ask somebody, say, oh, how you feel, say, I look, or how you feel, say, I feel, wait, tell her how you feel. They should reassure them, it's good in some way. But when you ask the right person, it becomes more preferable. But when you ask the wrong person, it becomes more worried because sometimes you know, they tell you what you worry. They tell you what will scare you more. We go make, oh, well, okay, I feel say, I have to go back to the internet, go check. Or sometimes you don't even trust the doctor anymore. Not trust at all. And then they will stop you to go out, then we lock down up in there. Then they will stop you for do good thing. Obviously, you know, despite say with all this lockdown, I believe say with all the announcements that the government will make and the policy will make, regardless say let's say level stay home, you know, regardless say let people social distance, do other things there, they not stop you to go out to do exercise. So that day, as I say, because of somebody get them worried there, they stop you for all anything, they make a chance for that. So okay, now moving to the next slide. As I said, the word internet they appear a lot more. This man, obviously, I can assume say he didn't have the phone, he don't look through the internet. Because sometimes he worry too much about his own health. Frequently checking for, on his body for signs of illness, such as imagine you don't stress, you don't sleep well, you wake up in the morning, you see your eyes and swell a bit. You always say, well, not so been there last night. Well, because of not getting enough rest, so you expect say the body symptoms will change. And the body naturally, in time, it change with age. Because sometimes if you look at my picture back then when I was 17, 18, I wasn't look like this. So then things go for change, you know, as time they go on. So if now you become very, very sensitive to anything, it makes it even worry. And now we access to the internet, as I say, and they will all go for fetch information about how they look or how they feel, which make they feel this way, the signs they all into. And they, as I say, you worry something, we don't go to GP don't miss something. You miss it all, GP don't miss information where, maybe not do this test here. Maybe if you don't do this test, if I don't see this there. Maybe if you don't check this there, if you don't see this there. Obsessively, they check the internet for health information, than they know the health. And attending a health anxiety. I mean, even the medics that up to now, they say they find it difficult because they don't get a proper definition of us. Okay, now this we look for. Because it's not there. Because we then go, we person go, as I say, they don't assess you, they check you, making sure you're okay. And if you say okay, 100% okay. But you don't trust the doctor. Yes, we'll agree, say yes, they are human beings, they make mistakes sometimes. But the percentage is very, very low. Because the general medical council, an officer will get them people in the books. Yes, we don't see mistakes where, you know, back in 2004 in the UK, we heard about Aaron Chipman, you know, we end up for dying in a prison cell where they convicted about 2000 and then convicted because they killed a young patient there. Yes, you get to, but an officer standing at people away, like just a good medical answer in that case. Quick, as they get for find out, and try to stop them, get them convicted, put them in prison, and they eventually die. And obviously, this modern day training where the GP gets to, like Mr. One to GP, social work will get continuously, will do CPDs every 2 years, will get checked, making sure registration is intact. They do everything. So we get that very stringent checks of what they do for make sure say the right people are in the right profession, are in the right jobs. So I don't believe anything that happen again. So if you find law, we're not talking saying not use the internet, but use them for the right reason. And if I, as I say, as we go along, we'll talk more about how you could able to get trust for your GP, the stress they all they get, they make some of them small signs with the experience, then tingling, then pain, then they because of too much stress. Would they experience that? Who experience that? I know say, obviously we'll get Anne amongst we now today. Very interesting for all. Say, I try for search the internet itself. Obviously, I go through and it will get number of perhaps the group of people away, way dentia, what they experience dentia. But if you look, especially like we African people, we don't go hospital. So sometimes the numbers of we with experience here are very low because we don't go hospital, especially with the man there. We not go hospital. We see that they make a small self. We see that they try. They go hospital where they get issues. But like we the Black African, especially the man there, we don't go hospital. We feel say we're okay. And then a ticking time bomb because thing they we do underlining where you don't get addressed as quickly as possible because you don't get the chance to go see GP, the fear no one go they worry me. Perhaps it's better if you get for than they. At least say you get this condition and how to manage them well. Okay. Now, what's in it cause health anxiety? Sadly, there are many other reasons, not one specific thing what it causes them. Not no particular thing say, now we get a particular thing and they make a result to this. Yeah, it's nothing like that. It can be many other reasons. Obviously, a stressful period of my life, maybe you lost your job, maybe somebody very close to you to die, or maybe you just recover from illness with perhaps dinner with family, especially, I'll give you an example here. Obviously, the late daddy died of, hypertension. So anytime I get anything where you make the worry small, when blood pressure go up, it leads me to that. But I get for things, I said, no, I have to be positive here. And obviously, it will happen to me because not only are they in the right environment, because I'm aware of the condition itself now, then I try to manage it as best as I can. And as I say, this COVID, I don't remember, I believe say sometimes, so mom, you don't get that NHS app, where you register with. We come at those and tell you, wait, team bleep no more, you know, that red light, ping, say you don't pass me out, somebody positively, we tested positive. It'll make you worry yourself. It'll make you worried. It'll make you really worry, make you become very anxious. You situation don't contact them, how well to the extreme. So then uncle say, oh, if this COVID catch me, it will kill me. The worry say how in Peking there, how in family, all that it cause you become worried. Obviously, I know say Sister Rugi don't talk a lot about anxiety and all that thing. Obviously, being anxious too much, they make you get some symptoms like shakiness, shortness of breath, headaches, tingling, and chest pain. All in there, if you get a positive mindset, it will reduce them. Perhaps you're not going to notice it at all. But because of perhaps you're too worried about your health, it becomes more clear to you. Say it happened, and it happened because your mind don't tell you so. Because obviously the body reacts to how we think, and so the body reacts. So then, so now then, as I say, there's no specific cause for like the other conditions we want to treat, like the hypertension, obviously, how you eat and drink, then it leads to some of the things there. But like this, there's no specific thing. So we could be very, very careful how to manage it. Okay. Now, obviously, this is not the slide where I will give Dr. Ture a chance to expand on a bit. Now, a medical test, couple of medical clinics, they would run now one hospital, now not Nottinghamshire, and then do over a period of 4 years research, and they use a health anxiety inventor tool for diagnosis, just for check, and see why this prevalence, why this thing that happen, why people they come and what are the conditions that would make the result to this health anxiety. Some of the clinics went around and cover therefore topics are where they are discussed, winner, cardiology, endocrine, gastroenterology, respiratory medicine. I will give Dr. Dr. Ture chance for just expand on us small for let tell we within Identia, at least those people and get better understanding of them. Thank you. Back you, hand over to Dr. Ture.
Okay, thank you for that. Just as our Mr. Ciceron said, anxiety na very big problem. It affects it ongoing more worse even this COVID period. So this study we didn't do now this King Mill Hospital involve people who attend the clinic within different departments there. Okay, and the cardiology department where they deal with the heart, the endocrine where they deal with the hormone system, and the gastro they deal with the stomach, and the respiratory they deal with your lungs and breathing problems. But we'll all understand them properly. Maybe we'll find we know how this link with them and why people and they go with them condition there. Now, in the first instance, we need to know anxiety. What they make people get them symptoms of anxiety. If you, every human being gets kidneys, okay? So we have two kidneys, and above the kidneys, you have you have a small gland. They call it the adrenal gland. Now, when somebody they're in a fearful situation, you have there's a natural phenomena of every human being to produce a hormone or a chemical called adrenaline. And this adrenaline prepares the individual for the flight or fight situation. They say you fear of something, some people fear of health problem or anything, somebody attack you, you get this adrenaline where it come a huge surge of in the whole body, and it make your mind say, what should I do here? Shall I attack this person or shall I run away? You know, you say, go face the situation or go away from the situation. So that's the natural phenomena. So within this adrenaline they do, the adrenaline they act in the whole body from the head to toe. First, it make you feel being fearful. Your heart they begin increase, your heartbeats they increase, you begin get palpitations, and you get your breathing rates they increase. Chest begin tight, you get chest tightness, and some people they get sweating, and as well because this hormone they work in the gut as well. You make your gut they begin rumbling, become sensitive. They even go na toilet for go have a wee or have a do just because of this hormone in your system. Now, surprisingly, you know, these symptoms, the way they produce by this hormone coincide with most of these medical problems. Like in the cardiology, for instance, people can get hypertension or people can get heart failure. I know the word heart failure will make somebody feel, say, oh, my heart need to work. It work, but it may not be as strong as they work before for pump the blood. So the heart, they pump the blood, go through the whole body. And some man that we don't work heart attack. So the symptoms of heart attack will make you get that chest tightness or chest pain, palpitations. When somebody get down, they worry, say, oh, until na heart attack I don't get, so we call 999. Or this now waiting they happen with me, so but then my heart don't begin they get problems. It calling GP, you want let them refer them, let them go see cardiologist. Okay, so then the endocrine, this hormone we talk about, again, it cause this problem. People then get like thyroid problem, that are part of the endocrine. The thyroid, if you have high thyroid problem, it make your heart beat fast. If you thyroid be low or under, it make you become tired, lethargic. You need to get interested in things. You even get constipation. Okay, so in that purpose, somebody get anything in there. It's similar to some of the symptoms of anxiety. If you run back, go see doctor, say, oh, something must be going on with me. There may be something wrong with me. Okay, and the stomach again, you get the stomach, we get enough acid. Naturally, the stomach is made to produce enough acid for break down the food. But the food pipe, the lining of the food pipe and the lining of the stomach different. So if you get too much acid, now your stomach, they go na the lower part of the food pipe, they make you get heartburn or chest pain, and then heartburns anyway they had. The heart, they similar to the close to the heart. You get chest tightness, chest pain again, begin what you see something else happen with me. My heart, sometimes something they have put on. And in your community, people and they if you don't eat enough pepper, when they put on the soup, the pepper for make even a bunny mouth, they satisfy say don't eat something. That pepper they go increase the acid, they cause a heartburn, they cause more problems for you as well. And with this COVID, you don't notice people and they get constipation a lot. And as a result, some man they get what they call hemorrhoid as a result of constipation. And we go poo, you see small blood. That blood where you see the worry and say, what have I got? Have I got cancer? Have I got something? So you worry about that again. So all these anxiety symptoms with the respiratory rate, we know COVID, they cause breathing problems. So all of this anxiety, they produce them things and so the person they go now, they go check internet, like how Ibrahim they say, they go Google. And I'm telling you, even if now you finger, you just get a small ache in your finger, just Google that symptoms there, you will get an answer. And mostly the answer you get is not a good answer. That answer, they worry you. You go to the doctor, as Ibrahim say, then do all form of investigations. It could be normal, and then yet still you feel say maybe they might be missing something. So this is what they do when they do these studies in this clinic. They find out say people then calm, and most of them they score high in the anxiety scale with the test what they do. I hope say that they make throw some light into it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Toure. And before I even go on to the next slide, we expand on the results. Just like what Dr. Toure does say, this is not just a rough guide, okay? Like most people know, as I say, it's not just one appointment, you can get a couple of appointments. For like 5 appointments where you go to a GP, the cost of £225. Then for one visit where you make to A&E, now a rough guide, as I say, it costs you £80.55. And if you do 2 scans there, ultrasounds there, they cost you £380. So that's a total of £685.55. Perhaps that's why they get this astronomical amount where it costs the NHS a year, where they say about £2 billion a year. So hopefully, this is not something where just to give you, an insight of, some of them how to manage it. Because, as I say, I don't know, Salon, obviously, it until I left there, but I believe they don't get the health budget. And if that gets affected this much, how much if you say they will manage the other thing the way people need is, I mean, like we all need, very good system for everywhere who they. And now we talk about the UK now. I mean, if the NHS just get that amount of money they will spend, how much more of the budget they would need for, allocate to that thing they will need in life. That's worrying. Now, just like what here, I just to say, these are the results of some of the tests where they conduct, that research where they conduct. Between 2006 to 2008 period, out of 362 patients that were attend the clinic, 54 of them patients, and they obviously, they were all come with the result of, being very anxious with the present health anxiety. That was 14.9%. Then it increased to 19.9% between 2008 and 2010. And obviously, the patient who attended that surgery was 5,704 patients. And out of that, they get 1,132 patients that, as I say, represent health anxiety. Like, just like what Dr. Toure just expand on now, like the increase is mostly on the enterological clinic increase that they did, not on the endocrine. So now, we'll move on to the next slide. These are some of the common things that we, if you say, stress related. Obviously, we know say workplace stress is in the increase. But sadly, I know say obviously some man not lost in job now, So obviously, perhaps if they do that exactly now, it not will show this high. But this chart was done before COVID, so perhaps they may get very high increase on work-related stress. I believe say, obviously, that we will all resonate with. Where from the graph, if I can read the graph, now 79% of work-related stress. And money and financial stress will get about 60%. Family stress will get about 48%. And health stress, they go to the traffic. Even though I assume say they feel they are not all captured, because as I said, they're just one clinic and they do obviously in a 4-year research. Perhaps if you do and say, let them do nationwide, I believe say that number could be double of what it gets now. So where the graph shows say now 45%, now that. Obviously, during this COVID, I can imagine say, relationship stress that already domestic violence is on the increase, and we still don't know it. So let's see how the travel say. Perhaps we try for things say, I mean, anticipate say after or post COVID, then here will be balloon. I make my worry say post COVID mental health could be a very serious problem what we all worry about, because at the moment some of them are still hidden. We not come out clear yet to we, because obviously there's not much done within that period there where they do a proper research for gather some fact. But I assume say when then things they happen, when they get the proper research done, for gather things would happen during COVID. I believe say domestic violence would they talk there, but health stress as well. Because I believe say, the way Dr. Ture just expanded some of the conditions, the way people they go to hospital for, because of the worry say, because of this, it will relate to this. As I said, the internet is good. It's very good for law. We use some, a lot of and use the right way. But when you use it the wrong way, I didn't see the result too. Let's move to the next slide. Then what you will do for avoid that vicious circle, where they lead to all them problems. What you can do for avoid that? Keep a diary of how often you ask people for reassurance. So let know, okay, example say maybe something this week, I don't ask 10 times. You don't get the diary. Don't try to see if you will do start 10 days, the following week, maybe that's about maximum 6. Don't slowly get them down to the point where say yes. It's about maybe once you ask a whole week. As I say, they're not saying not ask, but ask preferably a health professional. Perhaps based on your explanation, you go will listen to you, you go will give you a guide whether you need to see a GP, or perhaps you just need to relax, give you some advice of how you can manage and worrying thoughts and where they go in your brain. Because here in the UK now, we get 111 are the same as 999 when I emergency line. The only difference is the 111 now we dial, obviously in a way you worry about something, but you're not sure. So when you ring that number, somebody will pick another side of the phone, go answer you, go talk to you, go kind of like trying to guide you, or perhaps reassure you, for letting you say, yes, you get every right to be worried, but not to anything because of the way they explain that, and you don't get the right information. And this now team up way, I believe say it happen a lot. Now when you go see your GP, then get in time for ask you, for they give you history, tell them everything correct. Because by doing so, they only help the GP, but it is shortening the time at the clinic as well, because the GP will know exactly who in focus could begin do a proper check until we all finish what you go there for. But if you not get correct information, obviously, they help you and not the GP as well. Then you're gonna make it refer you for the other tests and perhaps we might not even need, And as I say, reduce how many times you check your body. Reduce them. Try as hard as possible for reduce them. Then it help that vicious circle. Trust you, doctor. I'm not saying a difficult thing. I say I don't give example of our shipman and all that. And this is a very good thing where, I'll just give a personal experience on this. 2010, I go to my GP. By then, he checked my blood pressure. He told me, say, my blood pressure was 140/90. But you say, okay, let I give you that machine for what do you test now? Perhaps you're unsure because of the hospital environment. So you give me everything for 1 hour. They give me say that go the right time to do checks in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Don't that count the result after a week. I do okay, the average was, I would say, at some point, I got like 3 days where, it's called almost the same. But the other 2 days, it's called slightly different. So what come, I tell you, say, okay, Mr. Cisse, say, you say, you dare to risk now. Say, so what you can do for you now? That prescribed for you, amlodipine on a 5 milligram. But say the world would think about amlodipine, would think, what do myself do? I go to the internet, sadly, I go to the internet, I don't look for the good side of things and the negative side of things I look at. Say, what are the after effects of their medication? Because say, all the friends say, oh, this year I will get issue with the manhood, my business, papa business, could be okay with you again. And I say, but too young, why they can't get me into it here? He did talk to me about some of the lifestyle changes I have to make for help. What did me do? I ignore that health information they're making because I don't trust my doctor. I don't even trust them. Where I go take down that medication the way they prescribe for me. Even though I don't collect an medicine, I take her, I just shove it on the shelf. I forget about her. I begin to do that thing then. Not knowing say it's a ticking time bomb. And I mean, for later day today I had to talk to her, so I'm a lucky escape. The blood pressure is creeping slowly. To 2017, when I go, the night we make awake in the morning, say I go back for see me GP. The nights I don't sleep well. In my let me belly. That morning, the first time I wake in the morning, I don't eat, get dressed. I don't even know how I get into my car till I reach to the GP. When he do a blood test, he scream, he holler, say how you manage to get here. I explained to analysis, you know what? Stay here, I'll get the ambulance for you. Straight away, ambulance can pick me straight to the hospital, and I'm related to the department, and then can go. They monitor my blood detail until they come to a reasonable level. Before it's like I was there the whole day. From that minute there, I was put on 10 milligram amlodipine and doxycycline 4 milligram. And doxycycline I take them twice a day, and the amlodipine 10 milligram. And after which, I don't say in a personal story what I need for tell. Once I begin go back for me to check, they see how much damage it don't almost cause to my kidney. If I mean trust the GP, then I don't feel say I've already get to that situation there where I get so. So I know say yes, the GP they make mistake, they are humans, they do. But let's trust our GPs. Let's trust them. This guy's gone there and trained to do this job. No matter what, me not going to do what they do. Now respect and say, now they hold this and get another chance for them to do the job wrong. And obviously, at the moment, we talk about health anxiety now. Currently, we don't get treatment for them, no treatment, nothing for them. The only thing they on offer now a treatment called CBT, and what it mean now cognitive behavioral therapy. Now talking therapy, I will just for rewind your negative thought, then it will get you back to a positive mood. With that, you connect to the right people. No call somebody with the scare among you, where they make you, you will sleep on net, even make you worry past the first time you make contact. Obviously, avoid unhealthy habits, like especially for who demanding. Or get issues where you want to be. As I say, instead of getting the right thing or do the right thing, unhealthy habits could be, oh man, I'll go take a few pints. You rest me. Yes, temporarily, you're going to knock you off. Yes, obviously, you're going to knock you off. But that not solve the problem. That not solve the problem at all. If they come back, because that problem did not get addressed, and your body just get tired, because you need anything, you make it relax. But the problem is still there, it's not been addressed yet. And not avoid too much health information on the internet. It's not helping. It's not at all. Challenge your thoughts then. Get more positive thoughts, perhaps in a balanced way. Okay, example, say, how many times have you visited the GP, or how often I feel my body? You know, put a positive way, say, okay, sometimes when I feel my body, say, maybe I just stress or something like that. They not talk, say, they don't go to a GP, they don't talk, say, but if you don't go there once, twice, you don't give the same result, say, you okay. As I say, trust them, accept, say, okay. Understand? Challenge, touch them, they change from the negative side to the positive. And I get an audio, you know, where I will and listen to, you know, about unhelpful thinking. Perhaps Daniel will help you for kind of like, you know, recapture some of the things where I just don't talk. Daniel will be on the next slide.
Difficulties. In this session, we're focused on building helpful thinking. Do you ever think negatively or worry about things by going over things again and again in your mind? Just like other aspects of life, we can all fall into different habits. And these sorts of unhelpful habits of thinking or unhelpful thoughts can spoil your life. So, some people might find it dwell on the negative. For example, I won't enjoy it if I go, while others criticize themselves all the time, saying things like, they're much better at it than me. Whereas for some others, they expect the very worst to happen and jump to the worst conclusion about everything. I always mess things up. Or we may get focused on what other people think about us and keep worrying that others find us boring or don't like us much at all. They think I'm stupid if I say this. While these things might sometimes be true, at times when we feel stressed out or low, we tend to notice these sort of thoughts far more often, and they become harder to put out of mind. And the thing about these sorts of unhelpful thought habits is they're just that, unhelpful, and also usually not true as well. But when we believe these things, they worsen how we feel and also affect what we do. So these sorts of unhelpful thoughts tell us that we're useless, or that nobody likes us, or not to bother doing things. And if we believe them and act on them, they cause us to stop doing things, to withdraw. We end up feeling even worse. So unhelpful thoughts talk us out of going out with friends, applying for that new job, speaking up at meetings, or simply doing something nice for you. And of course, the less you do, the worse you feel. And the worse you feel, the less you do. And we get stuck in a vicious circle. You may have noticed that at times when we feel stressed out and low, that's when these thoughts get supercharged and pop into our minds a lot more. And if we fill our minds with these sort of thoughts, we get to feel worse and worse. And what do people often tell us when we worry like that? Try not to think about it. Let's just see if that works right now, and I'll do it too. Let's both of us try really hard not to think about a white polar bear. Well, if you're anything like me, you'll have found you can think of nothing else. Or if you did manage it, they had to spend a lot of mental energy thinking about perhaps a black polar bear or a car or whatever. And that's the key lesson. We need to find a more effective, practical way of dealing with our unhelpful thoughts. And doing something about these thoughts can help boost how you feel and help you get going again. Here's a typical example of somebody having unhelpful thoughts. Parveen is looking for a new job and is working on her CV. She has run out of things to say about herself in the personal statement section. She starts to slump in her chair and gaze out of the window. Some of the things Parveen is saying to herself are, what's the point? Loads of people will be applying. Someone else with more experience will probably get the job. I can't be bothered with this. Will I ever get a job? And as a result, she gives up and never sends in her application. Instead, she goes and sits down feeling upset and useless. These thoughts are unhelpful because they worsen how Parveen feels. Imagine if you were saying these things to yourself over and over, day on day, week on week. Slowly, these unhelpful thoughts would grind you down. And just like in Parveen's case, any one of us would feel angry, upset, frustrated, embarrassed, guilty, sad, lonely, and so on. So let's move on to what to do when this happens. But first, we need a plan, and that plan's called the Amazing Bad Thought Busting Program, or ABTBP for short. First, Firstly, label the thought. For example, you might find yourself taking things to heart, beating yourself up, having a gloomy view of the future, being your own worst critic, jumping to the worst conclusions, assuming that others see you badly, or taking responsibility for everything. These are patterns we can all fall into time and time again. You may have already noticed that you are more prone to one or more of these thinking styles, or that you notice them more than usual when you get upset. When you notice one of these unhelpful thoughts, before you start to get too upset and caught up in it, just mentally try and step back and stick a label on it. Oh, that's just one of those bad thoughts. And when you label an unhelpful thought this way, it begins to lose its power, and you realize that it's just part of being upset. It's not the truth. It's just one of those bad thoughts. You could even say to it, "You're rumbled. I'm not playing that game again." Secondly, leave it alone. Now you know what it is. Mentally turn your back on the bad thought. Don't challenge it or try to argue with it. Just let it be. Break that cycle where the thoughts go round and round in our heads, making us feel worse. Instead, take a step back and let the thought just be. Instead of getting caught up in it, choose to think about what you're doing right now. Really focus on this moment, on the conversation you may be having. Sometimes people find it helpful mentally placing the unhelpful thought in the corner of the room, like a child that's just been told off and has to sit in the corner and be quiet. This can take some practice, because like celebrities, bad thoughts love attention, but instead just let them be, and they'll shut up eventually. Thirdly, stand up to it. Don't be bossed about by bad thoughts, because bad thoughts are like bullies. They sound strong, but really they're weak underneath, and they tell lies. They say you won't like doing anything. They say you'll fail if you try. They tell you you're rubbish or you're scared or nobody likes you. But this is just a bad thought, not the truth. So don't be bullied. If the thought says don't, then do. If the thought says can't, say can right back at it. Call its bluff and see what really happens. Stand up to the bully and you'll find that what they're saying just isn't true. Fourthly, give yourself a break. Bad thoughts are how we beat ourselves up when we're upset. They make us say things to ourselves that we'd never say to a friend. So if you're having trouble with a bad thought, think what the person who loves you most in the whole world would say to you right now. They'd disagree with the bad thoughts, wouldn't they? They'd remind you that you're not rubbish or stupid or bound to fail. So try this. Go into a room by yourself and say what your friend would say to you out loud. Say it again in a kind voice. And remember that bad thoughts tell lies. People who love you tell you the truth. Trust these positive thoughts and let them help you get rid of the bad thoughts. And fifthly, look at the situation differently. First, imagine what it'd be like if it was a friend, not you, who was experiencing the unhelpful thought. What advice would you give? Now give the same advice to yourself. Also put your thought or worry into perspective. Will it matter so much in 6 months' time? Will you even remember what the problem was? If it won't matter in 6 months, it's probably not that important now. Also, how would others deal with the problem? Think about someone who seems to handle problems well and work out what they'd do or how they'd think in that situation. You've made a great start here by completing this session. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. I hope so. We're all listening to the audio, and I feel say, it's like just capture some of the things that we just discuss. And then bad thought the name like could go at the internet, try for search, just for look for something will make you comfortable. And by so doing, as I said, in order to get way better, we're more worried. And I don't for try for avoid, because I don't result to issues I want to talk about today. Where, I know say we, as I say, we African, we don't go that often, especially we the men, we don't go that often in our hospital. And each side, both sides of it, if we go, if they didn't tell we, not take the information, we didn't tell we seriously. And that go only to go, as I said, a problem as well, because maybe something in the way on the line, if they catch them quick, they go address them as as best as possible. So Lord try, Lord try doing the balance, like Goldilocks in a sense, not too soft, not too hard, just in the middle. Okay, now we don't come to the final thoughts, almost the end of presentation. Gentri don't talk about so what I don't talk about so just now. living a life with no negativity, you get a lot of your health benefits, obviously a lot. And obviously, like what I always say, a healthier and a more productive lifestyle, they reduce issues that we just addressed already. Low rates of depression and psychological distress, greater resistance to the common cold, and reduce death from cardiovascular disease. We don't talk on, sometime back in some of these sessions then eat better and healthy diet. Daniel obviously, Fatima didn't touch on a lot. Then that eat better there, and also, the other thing where, just I think the last session about heart attack. One analogy there where, we sister gave very well, where me talk about on a private conversation, where perhaps I'll bring that sooner today now, when Rugi. Give an example, say, think about a pipe, a drain pipe. Say, think about that pipe there. Say, say, if now water no way to put through that pipe, when I clean water, say, very rare for that pipe to block. Now I say, okay, what do you mean? Now I expand and say, look, say that because sometimes anything they eat, unhealthy thing to eat, now you go small, slowly, it will clog, and then we arteries and then they cause me for result to then see how they get to. Then, high blood pressure, everything. Because obviously, just like a drain pipe we explained, say if they put dirty water there all the time, what say slow, say turn the cam, it is say the drain pipe where put water, it take time for the drain. So then they say something to go wrong. And eventually Tengu can where the drain pipe itself will block. They get for use something now for letting force for open the pipe again or for let the water go freely. And obviously if that happen to a human being, I feel say a catastrophic, a bad. So where give that analogy there, I think about them, why is that? Wow. Say, your mind go not only far, it's just like a whole summary of what we for the do for keep yourself healthy, for eat healthy and everything. I agree. I really until I give credit for that. So that was a very thoughtful thinking. And obviously, and also a conversation on sleep. Sleep well. Obviously, for me, you could talk, say, the day start way, 5 o'clock morning. Well, no, for me, the day start the night before you go to bed. Because if you get a prepared and good sleep, when you wake in the morning, you're active. When you wake in the morning, you're active, you're able to do a lot of things, through the day. But if you go to bed, go to bed early or you don't get good night's sleep, obviously when you wake up, it'll be rough. It'll be rough. The slightest thing, it is snap. Smallest thing that we they expect, the vex for. Sometimes if somebody sit on back and reflect on it, what make I vex for self yesterday or today, all day today. We can take say something is wrong here. Obviously not because we not get enough rest. And me, without having me, say I like to sleep. I need to put time. I make sure say I get a proper routine, I go to bed, and when I wake up and active every day, I'm fresh in brain every day. So I believe say if me able to do everybody else able to do. And exercise. Ever since where they make them part of me, as I say the medication when they prescribe for me, I take them religiously and I miss them. Exercise. Obviously, you're not going to make that cancel tax letter and not drop now. They don't want to. They go drop. But when you exercise, it take off that emotional, intensity away from you. You make. For me, I don't miss my exercise. I know say Dr. Sisebi asked a question, say how much minutes of time the government recommend for what we do. I know say the answer was 30 minutes every day, but I do an hour every day, perhaps sometimes even 2 hours. Because what I do, I split them up. I split the exercise period up. Like where I go do brisk walk, I get to some place where I reach, I do few press-ups, then from there, perhaps I run, just forget me. Because I'm a local escape from what I just described about the two-way, limit for end up now. Ambulance ward. I'm a local escape. So I believe say if I don't survive that person is told it to others for them to learn from them, for them to benefit from them. So me not a local escape. And avoid smoking, obviously, Drinking, if you want to drink, obviously, not drink excess. The advice where the government again, and UK, 14 units for both man and woman, done per week. Try avoid for go above that. Not say, okay, because I not drink today, I not drink this week, I not drink last week, then generally one drink now, you binge drink for the weeks that we not do. You know, you overload yourself. Don't do that. Because you know the help. You know, if you miss some, you miss some. No, say, okay, because I missed 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, then you binge drink the week we want drink. Obviously, you kill yourself. Don't do that. They're not saying no work, but avoid for work too hard. Work smart. Be positive. Avoid unhelpful thinking, just like that audio would listen to. And then it help you. And I go and recommend some few things then to viewers then, and we all looking at a film they we call Hidden Figures. A very nice film, very psychological, and what's in that film did tell you about? Now 3 Black ladies where they work in NASA. They have all the kind of discrimination, stress, pushbacks, and everything. But what did they do? They remain positive. And this is a true story. Don't think it's not just a film. No, it's a true story. Okay? They remain positive, and thirdly, they named them at the books. NASA, they named it at the books. The film is named Hidden Figures. If you get a chance, watch them. You see, when you focus, when you get a positive mind, you focus in what you want to do. It gets you to what you want. And with less stress, you don't worry about anything other than what you want to pay attention to. Now it will make you pay attention to. Now, a very good film. I recommend that to now. I feel when I get a chance, watch it and spare time. Perhaps we'll come out next time. I believe some of you can't tell the story of the film. Now, a very good film. You know, no shooting all the day, no killing all the day. It's just pure inspirational. Now, a very good film. I recommend that to you. And I thank you very much for the time I spent with you today. And I tell you, thank you very much for listening. So I will open up the session now for question and answer. So thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sisi. Brilliant session. My family, we're free now for ask any questions. Mr. Sisi will go through the explain to with health anxiety, with the issues there, the symptoms, and some we don't give you some ideas of how we can deal with them and also have to go for seek help. These are something we all at some point don't get, don't be a victim of this, because once you go to hospital and tell you something they will say they tell you. The moment they drop the 4th word, you need to think nothing again. Which you think no matter that one word we don't tell you that the bad one for say that this you get, even titat, the moment say you get titat, or maybe I tell you say again for go change the teeth, or maybe they go for put a drill now put drill now you mouth and whatever like that. Now I don't think anything, but there are more things than they will be able to do. I'm just saying cable you can stop the share now so people can ask questions. So now the floor open. Anybody will ask question, if we for ask.
You have to direct me down there. How for draw? Man.
And that's for the okay. So everybody will have waiting as far as yeah. Everybody free now for ask questions. So if I get any question for ask, yes, Auntie Sarah.
Ibrahim, his sister. Ibrahim, thank you so much for the presentation. That was really good. But 2 things that I need for bring up to you. I don't see where doctors there. I'm sorry, Dr. Turi. I know you're there. I know that Dr. Kumara is there. I'm sure you are exempted from this. But I don't see doctors they don't go on Google. Waste you don't so that they ask questions. They go on Google to research. Then secondly, you've got few doctors there where they missed out certain diagnosis, So how do you deal with that? Because I think that's where the anxiety comes from, where we know that we don't hear lots of cancer being missed by the GP, and some GP, actually, I've seen a GP that has gone onto Google to check.
Okay, and that issue of the internet, as I said to you, a good tool way available to all, and if we use it rightly. I believe, say, that GP where you go see, where you Google, whatever information where you Google, the internet where you don't go, the website where you don't access, I believe, say, 110% say, now a website where get an information we could able help them. Let's assume, say, I want something as a GP, they'll go on the NHS website because they got all the reliable information there, where they guide them through. Because sometimes they get very up to date. Like we, the social workers, we get Sky. When any up to date information, would go on Sky? Now internet, but they get up to date information there. So I believe say that GP the way go through. You know, that platform that you can use for access information. Obviously, I know say you mentioned about somebody who can misdiagnose somebody. Yes, as I say, they are humans. You know, let's be realistic. They are humans. They make mistakes, but obviously the number of that will happen is very, very small.
No, what I'm saying is that that's where. Sorry, what I'm saying is that that's where I think the anxiety comes from. Because if we don't hear say somebody who I know, a colleague or a friend, they diagnose that person, obviously you get anxious. You understand? So I don't know, probably maybe the doctors as well could contribute. I don't know.
Yeah, I will ask Dr. Ture or Dr. Kamara if any of them are available. Wait till I go say about this.
So I think say well, in the first place, the patient can meet you. You need for tailor your history and examination to that patient, not to within Google, say, okay. But at times you get the guidelines them can change, okay, and these guidelines you get websites them where they search for them guidelines then they, and so in doing so. Either the doctor for check your website, it may in that way it may don't go through Google for check that website, but it's not supposed to do that. So when the patient see and now say, oh, now through Google they go for go check that website, he say, oh, he said now Google you don't search. But the website you get the nice guidance, you get so many guidance then waiting they change. The doctor where you see 10 years ago, if he can't with the same problem, if he can't with the same problem to that doctor now, they not go get that first medication, maybe they give a different medication because studies don't show say that medication they may not good. So it want for updating self for make sure you give you the right one. And the other thing, they use the British National Formulary, where it they online, you get the online app for them, then you get a hard copy book as well. So it could be that, but basically when you see it, when a patient can't see a doctor, you need for tailor a history examination and everything for that patient. Because when you Google it give you information about everybody in the world and not tailored to you. You see, so that's the difference basically.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Any other questions? I think I want to ask is most of the scenarios what we don't look at today, I observe say we look more to big person. We're not forget say we get the little one and two picking. So how this they affect picking when it comes to health anxiety, how they affect them? And, how they affect them and waiting when I go suggest, when I go advice because it's not tailored to one person, but what's kind of advice when I go give any kind of picking?
Yes, if you look at the number of age group we attend, then clinics and they will get the research done, about 16 to 59, and talk say about 51.4, million, wouldn't generate within a very short space of time. Obviously, picking there among them. What usually can happen is this: when Peking come, it tell you especially about something, or you the parent observe say that this they happen. Because obviously, don't in a case where somebody commits suicide by just looking information on the internet and all that. Mentally, it's affecting them as well. It's you, the parents, giving that child the right guide. It's your parents, your responsibility, and you forget that child the right guide and try for make play, say, yes, what did they feel yes, na a concern, but there's a better way for address them by saying a medical professional, not relying on the information where, they on the internet. Just like Dr. Ture said, that information on the internet is not tailored to you. As somebody else don't say something, not tailored to you at all. Very scary for letting it happen. Obviously, the make what you say, post-COVID, it could be a problem, especially for picking them. That's the main concern we all get at the moment. I feel say Auntie Rugi wants to say something about that. So like,
I didn't see Andy of like classroom meeting. No, me not senior prefects. No, they ask question. That's why. Go ahead, man.
The only thing more where you can find picking them, right? There's so many aspects that we get for look. Just like how Ibrahim say, we the comrade they will get for look we picking them. The internet where they go now they force and they contain and they go find that kind of information then thing. Okay. Now a lot of communication between the picking and the parents them. The parents therefore be open all the time. And secondly as well, where we issues them, we anxiety issues them, we mental health issues them, we problem them. If that picking they see that thing they repeatedly every day, instead they take them to as they grow now, so instead they pick them up, they think say, waiting my mama gets, I myself get. You understand? So it's a lot of not if you can, some things and the way you picking not see, let you picking not talk about you business, you things that will go make that picking they intake that responsibility in I aid. Then as instead they grow up, instead they pick up the things then they. Then number 3, some picking and they're not left for go school. They don't get their own anxiety already. Sometimes they bully them at school. Sometimes then get dyslexia. Nobody know for sure then get dyslexia or other issues that we then get. So when they gap na morning, I'm not feeling well. You understand? If you're not picking, you picking where you don't know for see this picking left for go school. They all of a sudden they get them waiting self then repeated anxiety issues about going to school because they well or they want for go doctor and all that stuff. They never find out. Not to just find out from the picking, but not find out from the school as well. But it's about how you talk to the picking. It's about and Ibrahim don't talk now. It's not whether that video say now for reverse the thinking. Now for stand back, so you don't think about things. Find a way, time where you're picking go sit down, then you find out, break and down for them, it will tell you what thing they go on. So now a lot of communication between the parents and the picking and knowing your child and knowing where things and they change. Because everybody, where something change, you don't know. That picking won't be the jump to they all of a sudden he can't, they talk again, he just keep to himself, something is not right.
Thank you very much, ma. Mrs. Goba, yes, ma.
Yeah, if I'm alone now.
And I'll come to you in a bit. I've seen you. I'm coming. Yes, Mrs. Goba.
Yeah, I just want to add because Googie just don't thief me topic.
Great mind think alike, isn't it?
Exactly what I was saying. I just don't talk seriously.
You can get them or give them.
Because like when it comes to picking them, definitely some picking and the way we say they can come up with certain illnesses, especially love say cancer. Love just puts cancer for instance, right? Say you picking get cancer. But believe you me, not only picking get that anxiety, the anxiety is with the mother, the parent, especially the mom. That then gets that anxiety, then they get for anxious for that picking day. If the picking is aged, let me say age from 10 onwards, from 10 upwards, they definitely then gets an idea of certain things that way they happen and can access the internet and all that kind of things. So then your anxiety level is going to be more than the parents because wait till then go to Google, wait till they happen to me. Now this the doctors say. Some picking they listen very well and understand waiting the doctors they don't tell them and the diagnosis, then they go research for themselves. These are kids that are 10 above that are able to do so. But the ones that are not able to do so, let's say toddlers, the anxiety is the mother. If you, the mom, don't show fear, say something not wrong with me picking and wait don't wrong with me picking, Papa go lucky not die. If I don't let that picking in years, now they things they go worse. So the karma between if now picking will be say they get both parents, mom and dad at home. If the mama they go AWOL with the anxiety, the daddy didn't just get for stay calm. Now for be the sailor of the sea, where be say go for the calm the sea, make sure the situations are okay. If the picking the kind that they throw tantrums and every day, just for the support, the picking and the mama. But we the mommy them now we get that anxiety the way they deal with so picking and all well. Even I get 23-year-old man upstairs. Mom, I'm sweating. Where they cut down? They can't tell me, say, Mom, I sweat all day while they don't sleep, while awake. In body all soak, the bed all the soak. Me be don't diagnose me because that diabetes he gets. I'm here anxious, I go online and check. That's why I get for tell us, like, go to the GP. What did the GP say? It lack vitamin D. So you see, so me don't anxious, me don't get diagnosis from your PQ, say it's far different from what the doctor they say. The same thing happened to me on me, Mr. Cisse. Thank you very much. You will bring this health anxiety. 2016, 2016-17, I fell lump on my breast. I don't kill myself already. I don't die. Cancer, I don't get so. I begin, I cry. But believe you me, the other thing I owe myself, I not share with the picking them.
Yeah.
Because it's in the anxiety level for don't they higher than me. I tell me big sister Miata, and don't begin crying already. That's about no they die. I say, see, I make a number one for tell nobody. Say I go the GP refer me, I go for my biopsy. Thank God, na be benign. So you see, maybe don't kill myself down. The picky that don't well, I don't tell Miata now. Miata not able, small Miata not able for sleep. And to start when are we going to the doctors? Oh, to start I hope everything is okay. So you know that all the begin anxious and anything in there. So for we bring this up, it's really good. For like we know say certain things that they happen to we until we get to the bottom of it before we take and put on our head and begin worry about them. So Namion contribution that.
Thank you very much, ma. Valid. Anne, yes, ma. Go ahead.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute, please.
There
you go.
I did that CBT therapy when I had my breakdown. It'll be 3 years at the end of this month. I found it very interesting and very helpful. The things that you did. And it was nice to know that there was something out there that helped me. And I find by drawing, that helps me as well.
That's good. You know, there are simple things like that we tend to ignore, but are very important. You know, like that conversation you may have had, you know, during those sessions. You know, definitely what the therapist aim at is to take your attention away from being too worried about the things that makes you feel unwell or makes you think as if you're unwell. And if you're talking about a situation of, you know, let's make a case scenario here. Let's assume, you know, something happened to you and you worry about that, you know, consistently, and then you went to the therapist, you know, and then you say, oh, the best form of treatment here is CBT that we're going to go through. What they usually do is to help you unwind on some of all those negative thoughts and make it to refocus on the positive aspect of things. And from there, I believe that obviously, like you even to give our testimony here now, that you benefited from that session.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
And obviously, I do an art group as well. And I kind of know my points where if I'm feeling low, it's like my trigger points. So I'll do my art and that. Or if it's nice, I might go in the garden. But it's been very, very helpful, this session. Thank you so much.
And thank you
very much.
Thank you.
So I tell the country in a bit. So 10 day, you know, when it comes to we picking them, it's about how we manage the situation when it comes to if we suspect something, it's all about finding out first, waiting. Somebody just make a very good suggestion in the comments, but that's something I can always say to people. More than me, there was a time me and doctor were not the business. You know, at the register of GP, we go within 5 years or so. You need to see, I'm not sabi me. You know, I only go to them if I need that for go sign my boss pass it in London, or I need that for sign some medical form. But I don't see them. But most of we black people, more in general, we afraid for go see doctor because they say, and they go, they wait and not go without they come out. But it better let you find out early, because that early way find out might help you for prolong your life for another 10 or 15 years. Then you find them 3 years later, they don't get to a stage where they can't remediate and they will just say it's okay, well, then give you a date. They just wait someone out for there. You know, And then if you look back, say, well, if I be don't do this, if I be no, I can last. So to be honest, we better let we try for no early. Yes, you see, we are counting 1 minute. Go to Auntie Aminata. Yes, ma. Unmute yourself first, please.
Okay. Anyway, me not a medical doctor. Me not academic.
Okay.
Where don't you read and don't talk about picking then I don't make more I want for contribute.
Yes,
ma'am. So first what I want for talk. I think say we ethnic minority people that will not the plan for we health. We not the plan by right, we supposed to plan in such a way at least minimum once a year we get a complete health check. All the things in the, especially on the NHS, and also when you get a GP where sabi you where you don't do it for very long, me I can keep my GP then take and retire or then die. Because in a human relationship, when you get a GP where sabi your whole family. Okay, I'll give you an example. Me mama been get diabetes. Me mama been there with me now. It go into diabetic coma when we not be ever know say get diabetes at the age of 67. Type 2 diabetes. Me mama in blood sugar go up to 36. I'm sure the doctor they would open them up. When we can go in a hospital, the doctor say in don't do 30 years of ever see somebody in blood sugar go that high. As a result, anyway, the long and short of it all, it get treatment, everything happen. But me, I always feel safe because of the genetics. I know say are prone to diabetes. So from time, I make sure that they take me, and they check me glucose, sugar, at least once or twice a year. They go to my GP for let them test, do me test. All the woman, you mammogram, you cervical test, and all that thing. We for put on our diaries, we for put on our plan for say, no matter less of the travel. Me and my husband would travel a lot. We go Africa, with the can this and that. We travel at least 3 times a year. But they make sure say, then we appointment, then they don't make them. Because now you can even do overseas, you make appointment with your GP.
Yeah.
Okay. So so now the most important thing that the tell people, the man or woman, una plan, una health with una GP, una appointments there. Make sure say no what take, like when somebody Mr. said they say, una man there, una not the go hospital part then care una. Pass ambulance can. For let grab say let go do in prostate check, let go check in heart, let go do in blood work, then thing in there. When you talk as if you're not the spouse, you say the nag. So do you and my brother, they not to nag in the nag. When they say go hospital, go check, you better let go check. So if not they afraid for die, they die not can't do it. He said, I not go. I've been got one friend when they say, I don't go hospital, let them not tell me what I know why.
Exactly. Now, afraid and the way a lot of people and they look say,
I'm not afraid. Technology don't improve considerably now. Whether not something and they when a day surgery, when a quick surgery, 15 minutes and don't do something. So dear. But finally now to the beginning side, becoming a teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
The beginning side, I'm really glad the way that sister talk say, if you see beginner one go school, find out what you do.
I agree with that.
It's really, really important. I mean, I've been head teacher now for over 15 years. I know. But who picking the, if you see picking one go school, picking the leg school. Picking the leg school, because now they them party then day. So if you see begin dragging food for go school, you begin the late for go school, you begin the give excuse, find out. And you know me say, na ratline you take to find out. Get a relationship with your picking for let you be the first person where you go talk to when you're in trouble. You be the first person if you talk to when you get joy. It's very, very important. Most of the problems we begin and they get into now because with the parents, they will feel say na money they fend too busy, they fend money, will not get time for don't talk to picking them, will not get time for find out what they happen in their lives. No picking not big. May I get picking them between the age of 28 and 40, but no, not too big for me for laughing and don't ask what in they happen. Okay, this COVID don't cancel. Some them don't lose their job, some they don't get demotion, some they don't cut them pay. So it's really important. So the two things that when me go say, do ya we Monday, una to go hospital, una no wait till them care una go. Then me family then the man and woman they do ya Lord get time for picking them. Lord give them the listening ear. And finally, internet not a bad thing, but not for use them wisely. If you use internet for anything, but if you not use them well, it will point you to the wrong direction for anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma. You see, at least glad you don't tell us the internet, you know, bad because otherwise I will be on the out of job. No, but the doctors don't tell we this over and over for weeks and weeks and weeks. Say we all, you know, normally for we white counterpart, you can see age 40, but for we black people, try for go see get that NHS MOT test, health check from the age of 30. Begin go get checked. You know, make sure say then do a full rundown check for make sure say you okay. You know, for me then give the advice they miss I don't try for make sure say are the get in contact with me hospital. Because I apostle I get a bad habit today. The other day now also something do me. Uncle Doc now they chase me say go hospital, do this, I mean I know but at the end of the day, now we health we talk about. So if you look after yourself, the doctors will look after you. They're not going to come on the hospital can check you now, you host for ask you what do you. Now you go for come out, go meet them, then make sure you keep to your appointment. Yes, you see, we'll get what they about for round up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, just waiting, all man don't talk anyway. And what would they say? Get no want no get.
Exactly.
We get them all at this part of the world. Then if free, now then they coax you for come for go to the hospital. Let it not be for say you can't get health anxiety eventually, where they don't go tell you things where the water don't pass Gary. Because now that 10 day you go on the internet now, now that 10 day you go look back, now that 10 day the anxiety, you know they sleep again. Imagine no more they go tell you say, I'm sorry, Mr. So, Miss so, Mrs. So, this is the end now. You understand? Now that 10 day they go to Google now, more and more. You understand? You know they talk, you don't know waiting for do again. They will get with people in Africa, they don't have it. They don't. They will appreciate them. If just a tiny bit of what we get now, then get ayanda, but they don't. Imagine how then they suffer. For me, now they talk anytime we get at this program, now that's how they think about me people in Africa. When we get in Naya, then people and they even try to engage with me Naya, not to by force for engage, for can join, for can listen, not to by force, but at least no, we just appreciate no more. Say we've got it all here, and we've been forced, we have been coaxed to go to have a health check. We do bayanda, they not get nothing. So now let's just get down in always get at the back of your mind for say, yes, we got it all here. Other people out there are struggling, wanting it, and they don't have it.
Thank you, man. So if I'm them, now the word that basically Gentri waiting me could get them program as well. Now for like wait you they go through, let you know feels in you 1 grain they go through. No. And not so like for say if you go through it means say you soft because normally some of who they grow up in Africa, more so we demand them. Macho, you have to, you know, they can't see you crying, they can't see you. Listen, a normal, a natural. If you suffer from something, go seek help. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? So an account of the for the doctors, them, boku help, advice, support, let we make use of them. You are not doing as alone. They not get the opportunity. They are not the Africa, not get the opportunity. You get for the earn a lot of money for let you able to see doctor when and how you want them. So what they can do now, they can go around on the panel. Well, let will be professional health professionals, health professionals and give now then final word. But before we do that, we've been talk, I think it was last week or the week before, say we done 1 year you know, we first back did this, you know, we don't want year we represent this show. Normally some show then can start before you say a couple of weeks, you don't die. We all plenty thank you for one of the tuning for listening to it. We don't 1 year. And as for Mark, that you know, this 1 year anniversary, the team don't decide say we they give small token to people. Not to bribe you, no. They tell una thank you no more for una they take time for come on for can listen to what they see. And we know say but come for now they listen so they pass that advice to other people that will benefit them. Okay, so what's going to happen? I for share a number in a bit. So when people they get the last one, I will put a number up where una go text or send a WhatsApp message to. If you want to receive any of them gifts there, then it will be a key ring, and the other one I open up. We will get the Wεll Bɔdi Bεttεh Gentri name panel, and we'll get a nice design panel as well. We will able to post them to you. I know the Manchester, if somebody near you, they can drop them off. If not, I post to go post them. So if you interested, the only way for now get your name and your address by way you contact me. If you don't contact, we will not be able to give you. So and then with a salon, waiting can happen, we can ship something there. We get people in the community we can ship. So we'll beg one per them, let them ship and go to. So now if you're interested for get one, you still get for text that number there. Then when the thing they reach that tongue, somebody will contact you. We will make an arrangement with someone will meet up, and then we'll give you your gift. Now, unfortunately, not all man will get. So what we do is we get a list of people and we are regular viewers. So una already today, una na one part the lucky one, then we don't hear force. Nobody else at general public not hear this. So we will continue for talk for the next 2 or 3 weeks for make sure say people them because we're not can get on a number them. Unless we now get number them from individual and the panel, we not get on a number them. So I will share the number, you get WhatsApp, so I will encourage you idea. If you need the gift, put in name there. And also, we plan for open a WhatsApp group. Okay, so if you want to be part of that group, we will share the link later. And not going to be this session, the next session, where you can add yourself. We know they add people. You add yourself, and if the day where you not feel for day, you feel free for delete yourself as well. The reason being, data protection allow you to get control over how they use your information. I hope see this makes sense. So dear, I go around the panel now. I don't know. I'll be seeing Uncle Doc pop up just now. I don't know if he did. Dr. Kamara, if he did, dear, just give me a wave. If not, Dr. Ture, what's the last word for the people? Then I'll go to Cecile G, then Mrs. Guba, then I will round up with Mr. Cisse, then we'll finish for today. So, Dr. Ture, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Cisse, for a very educative session. Like the contribution where everybody don't give. I'm sure, as we say, the internet's fine, but we know how to use them. Also, and thank you so much for the contribution. You made. Some people, when they talk about talking therapy or CBT, they don't seem to be interested. All they're interested is in is medication. So you can't treat anxiety or depression with just medication alone. CBT is the first and most important part of treatment. So if people in the group, because it's all about your mind. If your mind they become and then program your mind for know how you deal with your situation, then that will help a lot. You see, so thank everybody for the contribution, and we hope say the next 2 weeks again we'll get another session. People will join, and we'll get this people and will watch as well. So thanks everybody for this program. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ture. Cecile.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Cisse, for all the session today, really, because I want to thank Coleman as well, we contribute, everybody will come anyway, and thank you to Anne as well, and for giving us some information about CBT and how it works and the positivity of it all. I think that will help people in here, in England or the world, to know that yes, talking therapy does work, and it works together with medication sometimes, and sometimes just the CBT itself works better than even with medication. So I'm glad you will talk about this topic. All man sort of seem for get something out of it, but like we know for say no more before we go on the internet, now we go to doctor then first, and now we have a plan with the doctor. Now the doctor tell you waiting to go on. Then at least he better let you know firsthand than for go on the internet, go get the information and go to the GP. The GP not tell you waiting at the T, what you want for your arena, they trouble, they begin back, they start, you know. So if I'm for like we get a rapport with GP them. Now the next week where the presentation, I mean the present, hopefully I present postnatal depression. I know for say sometimes a very not a topic where people in sort of want to talk about, especially young people or young kumra, someone with children or just had babies. You know, it's very good that we talk about postnatal depression, because it's out there, not just only in the Western world, but in the whole world, really. And so we need to talk about it, and so that people can understand and let them not afraid for talk about it, let them not afraid for treatment, let them not afraid for the support where they out there. Africa don't have that support, but we can still talk about it so that they can have a bit of an understanding and to look out for the signs and symptoms of postnatal depression, so they can have people to help them out as well. And here we will talk about the services that are available, all the services that we're in. We will talk about so that people are able to access their service then they. So now the word and the thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. In that case, I'm not getting nothing for the next topic. Since you don't tell me everything. Mrs. Goba.
Cecilia, don't talk about everything that I want to say with Dr. Toure, so we just got to say thank you.
All
the tip me what they, you know. Auntie Ami, thank you very much for your input. Nice to see you over so many years. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. And Auntie Sarah, thank you for your contribution as well, because really, Mr. Cisse, you really touch on this health and anxiety when I something where myself go through, and especially where it's here we go through where I be sick, but I got thinking not to wait maybe they think. Then with me Bobo as well, and I thank God maybe say listen, you go see the GP and then they still the Yagi word for now. Yes, Auntie Ami will go definitely look on the internet, but will they look for a positive result, not on the negative side. So, Mr. Cisse, thank you. It was a very, very good presentation, and kudos to you. And Dr. Toure, thanks for your contribution. And CBT, fabulous, which we always look up to. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Cisse?
Yes, thank you very much for joining this afternoon. I know, say, obviously, some of the facilities will get now, they back home. But I know, say, the money now worry about, say, we'll go see GP or doctor in a salon, how much they will charge we, it will be costly, expensive. Well, look at it this way. That money you will try to save. If you save as much as you want, plenty money, but if you can't save tomorrow, that money they're not going to enjoy. You're not going to enjoy that money there. Now the same sickness where you fed for avoid, now you end up for spend and back. I'm not saying yes, obviously, the doctor in a salon, not quote me on this, I might be wrong, but an officer they get like a standard of like what's to happen now, say, how the doctors, they get for bill you after the service. I don't know how it happen in Africa. But if you go see your doctor in a salon, I believe, say, if they're able to find out something, where say, if the address and early, it give you a better chance of survival. I believe, say, that doctor they will work with you. I believe, say, that doctor they will work with you surely for help you get it to the standard. So as much as say it's expensive, but I really say, if you spend your money wisely on your health, the benefits outweigh how much you spend. Me, that I understand and that I believe in. And obviously, like we all don't touch on that, say, relationship with the GP, especially here in the West, is very, very good. I made a mistake, I learned from it, and I advise people that the relationship with my GP now is better than ever. Even though during this lockdown, obviously, I don't get time for going to the surgery because of what they go on, but we still keep in touch. We talk over the phone. I communicate over the phone. We get full consultation. We do all that. So it's very good for like get a good rapport with your GP. If you remember what Dr. Kamara gave in presentation on hypertension, it was like telling my own story. I felt so emotional how that happened, we are managed to survive the Quadiso today. So a very good follow-up, keep a very good relationship with the GPs, them, not afraid, go hospital. They might only tell you what thing will benefit you, not what thing will put you off. So I thank you very much for all attend this session today. Thank you very much. Back on to you, Mr. Coordinator.
Thank you very much, sir. So do you have a family? Your last word is we community, we proud, we've been get a massive pride in that community cohesion, wherein we all been there for one another for support we serve. So do you have the big say, let we continue that in there. If person can meet you, tell you something, try forget a positive advice. If you don't know waiting for tell them, show them Dr. Wood. Or not try for tell them something we, you're not sure of, or something where say, if I tell them this, then get one, then could be get one parable. We say if you know the word where you go say we go pull Maridos, not talk. So if you know say you're not there at that position, or to a medical professional, you're not trained for telling that person that in the show I'm not the right path like with it. If I'm with them, sorry, Anti-Aminata, unless you get something very short, because we really don't get out of time. You get anything last word for Sema?
And a very short one.
Okay.
This is not particularly for family the way they na salon. Like when Mr. Sise say, they're not afraid for spend money in a pharmacy. So then they self-diagnose. And something be they don't go buy capsule. Salon man fee say all things na capsule. So do you allow to talk to family then? You better let them go hospital. Let's have na corner hospital. Sometimes a painkiller doctor will write for you. He said go buy paracetamol. But me, where at the salon, at the system, then they really abuse medicine. They no one go pay that 20,000 where they will charge them for consultation, then give them good prescription, then we'll go straight. He said me here they had give me capsule. How you will go ask for capsule for that?
I tell you.
So that they happen. So do you I want to talk to family there? Lord, them be careful. That money where they afraid for go pay consultation, then go pay double down in a pharmacy, then go buy okay, some workman there you go see you go buy 5 different kind of medicine there for one sick. But no one go pay consultation. Yeah. So now my own last word and they do a lot of talk to family there. Let them not afraid for go hospital.
Okay, thank you very much, man. Sorry, I'm not being CC chairman still there with we. Boss Carlos, if you get something very short, we have to people before we sign off. We really don't run out of time. We don't pride ourselves for people's stuff.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the platform. When I for just tell you now, thank you. At least this thing don't go smoothly. Well, for the past 12 months. So I commend you when I know they see me.
Now it's you.
Oh, okay. Now me food at this bar. I just they come. Yes. So good also the leaders for the team and everybody else we don't participate. Of course, I get for meet Mr. Sise and the others up till I don't meet the H bar. Surely after this thing done, we'll go, someone a convenient time, we'll all go sit down and talk more. So now the word that's no more me get.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And we always attend today, and all one we not even attend. Looking for watch them on Facebook and on YouTube. We tell you all plenty thank you and a happy 1 year anniversary. And a good night and stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Good news, Mr. Sise. You don't try.